Hello and welcome to Plant CEO. In today's episode, I'd like to welcome Darko Mandich, the CEO of Meli Bio. Hi Darko, how are you?
Hi, Anand. Thank you for invitation. I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. And you're in Serbia at the moment.
Yeah, I'm currently in Serbia, in my home country, where I'm visiting my family, and hopefully soon I will be back to San Francisco, where I moved last year, actually.
And so basically your company is really interesting for me. So you're trying to basically recreate honey, but from plants. Can you tell me how you came up with the idea of the company to do that?
Um, we are looking to be the missing piece of the puzzle in this alternative food industry, where the focus is to remove the animals from the food production. And Meli Bio, the company that I co-founded together with my partner Aaron Schaller, is looking to replace the bees from the honey production because of the several reasons. One of the reasons is that the honey production today is inefficient because of the rapid declining of bee population. It's becoming more and more expensive. The second reason is we think that honey as an awesome product could be produced ethically without including animals in that. And we also think that utilizing the power of science, we can actually make our honey to be even better than bee-made honey.
Yeah. So with the bees that are declining, I think what's worrying for me is the rate of which the plant pollination can happen. How would you envision that working if more people go, with this plant-based route? What about the wild bees? How do we encourage them to come back to the earth, I guess, and not get extinct?
You exactly mentioned one of the most important things that not many people and public, they don't actually know that. Around 85% of bee species are actually native bees, and only 15% are honey bees. And those native bees are really strong and important pollinators. And because of the increased demand for honey that followed increasing in commercial beekeeping, a kind of distortion was made in the habitat because people were bringing a lot of new beehives. Commercial beekeeping was expanding, and the honeybees, they started chasing away solitary bees, native bees, blue orchard bees, green metallic bees. I don't know if you know this fact, but actually honeybees or European honeybees that are domesticated, they're not native to the US and to North America in general. So they came with pilgrims, and now because of the managed honeybee population growing, it's really difficult for wild bees to strive. And with the growing population of humans and taking into account that honey is being consumed by 2 billion people on a daily basis through different range of products, we definitely saw this negative trend that consuming more honey made from commercial beekeeping would actually cause more troubles to the pollinator diversity. That was amazing. That really struck me, and that was the starting point, and that was the why that we were looking when we were trying to find a solution. And that perfectly went aligned with the trends in the alternative food sector, and that's the beauty of this business, because bringing up new food that's even better for consumers, we can actually solve problems that go beyond the humankind and that go into preserving of the planetary health.
Yeah, totally. So there's a lot of benefits, obviously, to honey, especially when you look at, the medicinal properties of honey and the different types of honey, like the Manuka honey, for example. Are you looking to try and also recreate that medicinal side of, where people would use it to cure different diseases and stuff like that?
We are currently early stage startup, and we are now focusing on our research and development. We definitely recognize that there are several potential markets that we can go into.
Right.
medicinal market is definitely one of them that we are actively exploring. Honey is perceived as the best sweetener and sometimes as a medicine to different parts of the regions in the world. So we are definitely staying open to observing possibilities to penetrate into one or several markets. And I think eventually we want to be the company that will service the needs for honey in the future, definitely. But it's going to be about timing and the strategy. Which of these markets are we going to start serving first? So at this point, we are talking to a lot of people. We are talking to potential future investors with current investor, and we are exploring possibilities on the best strategy for penetrating. I personally believe that every company early stage should have focus, laser focus, and I think that we will be driven with that philosophy. But also, I believe, and my co-founder and I want to build this company in the long run, and definitely in a long run, companies should try to deliver a great solution across several channels, and therefore we stay open to follow all of them, understand all of them, get the conversation going, and decide what's the perfect timing to get to each and every one of them.
So what do you think your first route to market will be, and what sort of timeline are you expected to achieve that by?
We are looking to launch our plant-based honey next year, mid Q3. And we are currently talking with companies coming from food and food service segments. We are talking to them first, and we are exploring their exact needs. Because if you say honey, it's like saying a meat, because honey is a broad term. There are like at least 15 or 20 main types of honey. So if you are talking to people in Europe, honey is considered acacia honey, which is the most popular. If you talk about medicinal honey, that's definitely manuka. And if you talk to food companies in the US that use honey as an ingredient, that's definitely clover honey. So
I see.
We are currently really dedicated to our R&D process, and parallel to that, we are talking to companies. We are exploring the possibilities to get the first letters of intent for our product. So I really want to stay open at this point, and I want to give equal opportunity to all of these conversations that we open, and to decide what's going to be our first pad in the market. We also explored the possibility of having our own brand of vegan plant-based honey as well. However, honey is a product that it's really interesting. When you go into a supermarket, you can get honey certainly at the syrups and honey section. But if you look deeper into shampoos or bars or oatmeal, you can find honey there. So it's really amazing product, and I think above and beyond the important thing of getting the right product market and channel fit, I think this we are now talking more about and thinking more about big vision, because we think that with our product we can actually match the human and planetary health, because we definitely need healthier options for sweeteners.
More natural, because and less processed sweeteners, which is not that great for you.
I think sweet food has been around for several millennia. Let's put it like this. Since the first forager community, people were looking to collect and consume sweet food, and I think that even the latest trends are also emphasizing the importance of carbohydrates in nutrition, which cannot just be removed. No. It's not actually sustainable for the nutrition, because
it's the balance.
You can skip sweet food for some time, but I think people would definitely be looking for solutions for their sweet tooth, but also to be healthy. and why not to be healthy for environment? And that's what we want to accomplish. We want to reinvent honey. We want to reinvent it in a way and make it even better and help the bees. And why the bees? Because if bees would disappear, I think most of our food would disappear, and maybe our living in this planet would be really jeopardized. So it's really inspiring that looking for solution how to help everyone is actually it's really difficult, but on the other hand, it's really possible, and that's what we are looking in Meli Bio, because my co-founder and I are really passionate about sustainability and about the nutrition, because we think that with every bite you make a decision, and we want to empower people to make decisions for the future world, which is healthy, sustainable, and supportive of the environment that's around us.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So can you tell me, I guess in terms of today, the alternatives that I myself would use would be agave. What would be the main difference that you see when you have your product next year? What do you think would be the difference between the two?
We definitely explored other sweeteners that are out there in the market, and definitely some of them are really good. Number one thing that's missing is the taste. So this specific taste of honey is something that means a lot to a lot of people. And for me, coming from Europe, where the culture of consuming honey is enormous, alternatives to that are not satisfactory in terms of taste.
Sure. Yeah.
Also, I don't say that other sweeteners are not nutritious, but honey is, by our opinion, and it's commonly perceived as the most nutritious alternative. Right. So we definitely think that this is enough. It's enough, and it's a great incentive for us to explore how to get this familiar taste of honey, this amazing nutritional profile, but to make it sustainable.
Right. So can you tell me just a little bit about your background and we touched on your heritage, but yeah, if you could explain a bit and how you came up with going to the US when you're there.
Thank you for asking that question. I'm a third generation entrepreneur. So my grandma was an entrepreneur. She's still alive, but she's now retired, but she was an entrepreneur.
What did she do?
So we are a family with origin from Dalmatia. That's a coastline area of Croatia, close to Italy. And we had our own restaurant, and we had some olives around our place. And we were kind of an agricultural family from Dalmatia. And I remember one of my first steps were playing in our garden next to the olives. And I was there helping my grandma and my father when they were running a restaurant. Unfortunately, a few years after I was born, when I was 4, this unfortunate civil war in ex-Yugoslavia started, and because of that war, our family we became refugees. Our house was burned down. I lost my grandfather in this war, and I really loved him. And when I was 4, when I was super early, I learned this lesson about losing things that you love, and that really made me think in terms of life in a different way. And my family moved from Croatia to Serbia, where I grew up, and I finished my business school. My father started a new business. So actually, I remember that I started reading not from the books, but from the contracts and invoices of my father. And in my elementary school, I discovered my first passion. I was running out from the classes. I was going home to spend time with my father, and I was helping him with the business, and I was learning the trades of entrepreneurship.
And your father was in the restaurant business at that time, or?
And he started a new business in transportation and logistics.
Okay.
And I was reading a bunch of these documents, and my younger brother, he was also into that, but he was more into driving trucks. So we were like super different, but helping our father. And I went to high school. I was lucky because in Serbia we can start from high school. We can choose the field of interest. So I went to high school of economics, and I was having these subjects which are law, trade, and macro and microeconomics. So I started learning about the business, about economy. I was loving it. I started my first virtual company in my high school, and I knew at that time that I want to build businesses because I love building things, and building businesses was actually the best way to do that. I finished my high school. I was best student in my generation, and I went to a business school in Belgrade, Serbia. That was a business school affiliated program of the Harvard Business School and this Institute of Competitiveness in Harvard, led by Professor Michael E. Porter. And I was really astonished by this program because through entire business school, professors they were teaching us about getting this competitive advantage, thinking about it all the time, because price is not a competitive advantage. It's not sustainable. You need to reinvent your businesses, reinvent your products. And I kept this case study in my head where one of my favorite professors, Nebojša Savić, he was teaching us like not to sell raspberries because Serbia is a huge raspberry exporter, but in bulk. So we sell raspberries to French, German, Japanese companies, and then they package them in different products and they get this premium. So he was teaching us about, guys, put that raspberries in yogurt, like be the Chobani of Europe, like get this competitive advantage and try to sell products like this. And I was happy because of that. And then when I finished my business school, I got this first job offer. I worked as a management trainee in a huge Serbian food conglomerate. There are like 5 or 6 companies owned by a single family. There's $250 million annual revenue, which is for Southeastern Europe and Serbia, that's huge. And I was lucky to be a management trainee of their honey exporting company.
Oh, that was handy.
Yeah, and I stayed there for 3 years, and I was lucky because it was a young company. They wanted to innovate, and I climbed from the position of sales management. I became the youngest CEO in the country when I was 22 or 23. So it was really difficult. I was running a team of 10 people, managed $5 million of annual sales of honey, and I stayed there for 3 years. After that time, I stayed in the honey business. I worked as a consultant for one huge Spanish honey company, launched several honey brands. Some of them were really successful. Some of them were okay. Some of them were not successful. So I had this like entrepreneur's curve. And after a successful project in 2019, I felt that I needed more. And that perfectly aligned with my personal choice of turning vegan. And I knew that that honey is not vegan, and I knew that I want more. And I was following people on LinkedIn like Ryan Betancourt, and I saw that there's something happening in San Francisco and Berkeley, and that I want to go there. And together with my wife, she's also an entrepreneur, we took 2 backpacks. We went for a trip in California, and we decided to stay. I met my co-founder. We started a company, raised pre-seed investment. So I did it on my trip. So now I'm back. Now I'm back to my home to actually take our stuff and properly move to San Francisco and continue working on our company.
Ryan's a friend of mine, and you've basically, he helped you inspire you to create this company, did he?
I think Ryan is definitely a friend of all the innovators, all the good people out there that want to challenge the status quo. His energy and his kind support and willingness to help is amazing. So actually, I had an opportunity to meet my co-founder at one of the events where he spoke in San Francisco. So Ryan and the entire team in Wild Earth and Cell Valley Labs. I would also mention Steve, and he's also on board there for special projects. Those guys there are so supportive, and I believe that anyone who wants to start a plant-based, cell-based company to get into this alternative food space should be in touch with them, because they're creating this amazing community there, empowering people. And my co-founder Aaron and I really felt empowered by this community and by Ryan and Steve, and we are happy to be there, and hope one day that we will be able to contribute to that community with our knowledge and our success. But so far, we are just having our notebooks ready, and whenever they speak to us, we really try to take notes of everything and reach out to them for any kind of help and support.
What are your plans as soon as you get back to San Francisco?
Actually, 2 days ago, I managed to book a flight.
Okay.
Because nowadays it's really difficult to travel, but we took this window of opportunity to come to Serbia for a few weeks, pack our things, and get back. I really look forward. I think the first day or the next day when I land in San Francisco, I will go to Cell Valley Labs in Berkeley. I love that space, even though I'm not a scientist, and even though I trust that my co-founder is moving things forward there by himself and the community there. I really want to be there. I really want to go there, and I want to talk to amazing people. And we are in this amazing accelerator program, Big Idea Ventures, and every week we are getting so many resources, and I want to be back, and I want to work hard on our startup, and talking to a lot of investors, talking to a lot of potential clients, and we want to see which of these conversations will move forward and therefore shape our next moves in the next couple of weeks.
Awesome. So, yeah, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you today, and wish you the best of luck when you get back to San Francisco. And yeah, really looking forward to try some of your honey when you launch it, hopefully next year.
Thank you for inviting me, and I would like to send my message of support to all the wonderful people out there looking to innovate the food industry and looking to bring sustainable solutions across different products.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Great speaking to you today. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.